We are discussing about classification of variables based on scope and accessibility. And in the last two classes, we have seen automatic or local variables and global or external variables. And these classes are defined based on the scope and lifetime. Scope means in which portion of the program a variable is accessible, and lifetime means during the execution of the program in which time interval a variable is active. And today, based on lifetime and scope, we can classify a set of variables as static variables. So, the topic for today is static variables in a C program. So, before we formally define what are static variables and what are their lifetime and scope, we can try to understand the necessity for static variables by looking at an illustrative example. Here is a program given. I will tell you what this program is doing. If you look at the main function, first it reads a natural number. N is taken from the user, and then in a for loop for n times from 0 to n minus 1, what is it doing? Every time it reads three numbers a, b and c, and after reading a, b and c, based on the value of c, either the function foo or the function bar is called. So, that is what main is doing. It reads the number, and that many times what it do? It reads a, b and c, then based on the value of c, it calls either the function foo or the function bar. And if you look at the function bar, you can see that there again there is a conditional execution of foo. If a condition is met, foo is called. So, that is this program. Okay. Now, suppose we need to display how many times foo is called during an execution of this program. And suppose you have to insert a printf statement here which should display how many times the function foo is called during the execution of this program. Suppose you are asked to do it, then how to get it done is the question that we are going to answer today. So, what is your suggestion? Can we go like this? Can we have a count variable in foo which gets incremented whenever a function calls it? So, I mean to have a count here which is an unsigned. You just increment it like this, initialize it to 0. So, every time when this function is getting called, the count is incremented and then the count is returned. Will it help? Can you just call that foo function from here and print it? What do you think? Actually, it is not going to be useful. Why? Because automatic variables, here count is being defined as a local or automatic variable within foo, and they cannot retain their values across various executions. Suppose you make a call to foo, then what will happen is count will be initialized to 0 and count will be incremented to 1 then 1 will be returned. Even in the next time when foo is called from within the loop, all these things will happen. Count will be again initialized to 0, incremented to 1, and 1 is returned. So, every time that 1 is returned. Why? Because you know that for automatic variables, memory is allocated for each function call or each function invocation, and that memory is returned when that function instance is finishing its execution. That means between two executions the memory is not valid. So, every time when that function is called for execution, memory is created. So, it cannot retain values or value of it between executions. So, that is the problem here. You cannot do it. So, what we need, so what is our purpose here? Suppose this count can remember its previous value. What is the previous value? What was the value when the last instance was terminated? Okay, if it can remember, then you are done. But unfortunately, automatic variables cannot do it. Maybe you can do it with global variable count, that is a different solution. So, here if you think about it, we need a special local variable count within foo which can retain its value across different executions. So, first it will be incremented to 1, then next time when it comes, the initialization should not happen and only the increment happen. Okay, that is what we need, and C programming language enables you to do it with what are called static variables. So, static variables are those variables which can retain their values between different executions of a single function, even if they are local. Okay, so this is what you can do. Rather than just declaring it as unsigned count equal to 0, you say that it is static unsigned count equal to 0. This is the only addition. So, you specify the storage class as static. Okay, so this is what it did, and when you do this, the initialization happens only once. It will not be executed every time when foo is called. Only for the first time the initialization will happen. Okay, and if you have this, you can just have a printf statement to print the number of times foo is executed. For that, what you do, you make an additional call. Okay, so you just have one more value in that. So, subtract 1, which will give the actual number of calls made from within this loop or through this bar, and that is the program that we just showed. And if you execute with these example values, you can just observe what you are getting. In this case, you are getting the correct value, and I am leaving that as homework exercise for you to just type it and execute it and see whether you are getting the expected value as output or not. Okay, so now we have seen an example application for static variables. And what is it? Whenever in your program you need a variable which needs to retain its value from the previous execution, then you have to go for static variables. And after recollecting what we observed from static variables, I will give you a more practical example which will help you understand more about static variables. So, now just recollect what we saw till now. Static variables are declared in a function by explicitly specifying the storage class as static. That is what we saw. Then what is the lifetime for static variables? Very important. So lifetime means when they are created and when they are killed, and it's just like global variables, it's throughout the execution of the program. So the lifetime of local static variables are same as that of global variables. So all those static variables are getting memory allocated the moment the main function is called for execution. We can try to understand by looking at the timeline. Suppose this is the timeline for your system. The system clock goes like this, and assume that after some time the operating system your program is getting executed. Okay, your program starts execution at time point m, and assume that your program terminates at time point n. So when we say program's execution, it is the execution of the main function in the program, because it is a C program. Now assume that after some time executing in the main function is making a call to the function foo. Okay, so the foo is called at this particular point I, and it terminates at time point j. So this is an assumption. Now we are interested in knowing what will be the lifetime of a local static variable in foo. You can see that the lifetime starts at the start time of the program and ends only at the end time. So throughout the execution of the program, the static variables are live, regardless of in which function those variables are created as static local variables. So what we discussed is that static variables get killed only when the program terminates. Okay, so between the execution of two instances also that particular variable is active, and hence they can retain their values across different executions, and not that for static variables each instance is not having separate variables. The same variable is shared among all executions of a function. So these are static variables. Now we can look at the scope or accessibility of static variables, and you can see that the scope or accessibility is exactly same as that of automatic or local variables. No difference, only the lifetime is different, scope is same. So just recollect the points that we learned about automatic or local variables. That is, their scope extends from the point of definition of that variable to the last statement of the block in which it is defined. Example, suppose you have a function foo in which you defined a static variable, then their scope or accessibility starts from this point and goes all the way till the last statement of the block in which it is defined. And just like automatic variables, if declaration of a static variable like count in this block overrides the definition of a variable with the same name, that suppose that you have another static variable somewhere defined here, or even local variable, automatic variable defined here with the name as count, then this will override. Or it could be even a global variable with count, then this will be the variable which is active or accessible to this portion of your program. So this is not a new point, exactly what we learned about automatic variables. So these two are same as that of automatic variables. Now there is a difference about the initialization. The default initialization value of a static variable, if it is numeric, is 0. So this is also different. If you look at automatic variables, uninitialized variables are expected to take any possible value. You cannot assume that they are zeros. But for static variables, you can assume that the initial value is 0 even if you have not initialized. Okay, these are all about static variables, and with this I am giving you a more practical example for you to practice and understand what are exactly static variables. I am giving a skeleton of a program where the main function is completely filled. So what I am trying to do is I am reading a natural number and then I am trying to print the first n Fibonacci numbers. Okay, I am directly printing 0 and 1, then I am calling Fibonacci to get the next Fibonacci number from 2 to n. That is what I do. And what you have to do, you complete the definition of the function Fibonacci to give the following output when the input is given as 12. The first 12 Fibonacci numbers are these. Okay, you have to make use of static variables here. You can exactly write if you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 statements here, which is this is a return statement, and here you need a static variable declaration with 2 variables. Then just these 3 statements you can decide. Okay, and this is a nice example which will let you understand what are actually static variables and why we need them. And also you illustrate the use of static variables with this example. Using this example, you have to write how static variables help you to implement our programming logic. So today we have seen static variables. We saw that static variables which are declared as static within a function can retain their value across various executions. When compared to global and automatic variables, the lifetime of static variable is same as that of a global variable, and the scope of a static local variable is same as that of an automatic variable. And for automatic variable, the default initialization is unknown, it could be any value. And for static variable, the default value can be assumed as 0 for numeric variables, because that is how C implements the static variables. Okay, these are a few differences, and if you want to retain values of variables within a function across various executions, then static variable are the only solution. Also, not that when you declare a local variable as static, then only a single variable is created for all instances. Every time when that function is called, the same instance will be used. The same variable memory location is utilized, and the initialization will be performed only once. So these are all about static variables, and C also allows you to define a global static variable, and I am leaving this as an exercise for you to search in the internet and find when you need a global static variable. Try to understand what are them and when a programmer need to use a global static variable. With this, we are finishing this lecture. Thank you.